got some brain food. Gonna get a little chocolate here. Anyone up for the ASMR of opening the wrapper? You guys get to enjoy that. Alright, so NA versus EU. This is basically the match of the tournament. Okay. So let's eat chocolate while we look at the comps. Okay, so I'm gonna wait until I'm done showing before I look too much at that NZ build. So we have a plan. So there is QR SJ out of Shaq, QR no SJ, but something conducive to bomb spam on Kyo. Then we have a weird build out of Tune. We have the one main and run speed, which is not surprising. We have comeback, which is, not surprising. And then we have the bomb range. What the fuck is that doing there? The fuck that's doing there is because if we're NA, we are going to defend a tower path that does some shit like this. In this tower path, this area right here is super critical. This is basically like as important as the tower path gets. What that bomb range allows is for someone over here to throw suction bombs at tower from over here. It's very safe. It's hard to be punished. And suction bombs on tower do a really, really good job. Well, I mean, Shaq and Kyo both have QR right now. So, obviously, Shaq is the only person. But the bomb spam, that's just a light shot. Does it say it here? Yeah, it's called light shot. Let me bring up the as you can see, if you look it up, it'll have like the little purple feather as the icon. But yeah, also suction bombs at bomb range are really nice for pushing up on this map. If you have double suction plus fizzy and a machine plus burst bombs, you're going to be able to put up a lot of pressure while pushing up. Now out of EU, you have a slightly surprising build out of Gray, because Gray opts to not go full into torpedo spam with his limited resources, and he goes for some special charge, which I'm not gonna lie is a little bit weird. This implies a more aggressive build where you're focusing on painting more, and you have last-ditch effort towards the end. Urza's build makes sense. Special saver to help get you out of your base. Main power so you can be more aggressive, and stealth jump. Kiver's build makes sense. 2 mains main power, which isn't enough, but it should help considering that I think all the damage sources should be doing a decent amount to help Kiver's ability to finish off damage here, especially with his burst bombs. And then stealth jump to get you back in more consistently. And then Soren going with main power instead of special power. Now, I think that the Japanese build is the best one for Jet, because since burst bombs are so fucking good on land, having a comp or having a build that's able to take advantage of why CJS is good on land by using some bomb range at least is really good. I understand the need to make your stingrays good with the special saver and the quick jump, but I think that something like special saver, quick jump, 1 main of bomb range, or what Japan's doing, which is 2 mains of bomb range and quick jump, or special saver maybe. I think that's the best way to go. That being said, both of these guys should basically be about even. The main of main power. Hey, what's up, Slimy? I am doing calculus on E3 matches, yes. Thank you for making me laugh the remainder of my chocolate bar into my throat. So I understand why someone like Soren would want main power, because you want to make your gun more accurate. Now, I was actually just talking earlier today about why I don't think that main power is that good on this weapon, or at least not for me. So just to give it a TLDR, and you can go to the long range shooter chat in Academy, and just look for what I did today, which I guess for VOD viewers is June 10th in the morning. Basically saying the way that main power works on custom jet. The way main power works on custom jet is, so the way inaccuracy works in Splatoon is a gun usually starts out at a 100% accuracy rate. Every time a bullet is fired, a coin flip happens. Heads or tails, where the chance of heads is that accuracy rate. So it starts out at 100%. So the first bullet, flip a coin, always heads. The bullet is dead accurate. If it is tails, the weapon will be inaccurate. The more that you shoot, the lower that percentage gets. And it has a maximum low value. It's usually like 50%. Sometimes it's like 40%. It depends. But when you get tails, it's not like it's like heads. It's accurate. Tails, it's some kind of inaccurate. No, it's 100% inaccurate. It always veers as far away as it can from the center, from your actual center reticle. The direction, like circular direction that it does that in, that is random, but the angle which it veers away is always the same, and it's the maximum amount allowed. When you're jumping and stuff, that changes it obviously, but it's actually not like traditional RNG, because traditional RNG, it's a more continuous, things can veer a little bit, and the more you shoot, the more it veers, where it's like it always veers the same amount, but the more often it veers. What main power does on custom jet is it decreases that maximum inaccuracy. On something like NZAP, it's a little bit different. It changes the rate at which the coin flip gets worse than 100% and goes down. But for custom jet, it decreases the maximum inaccuracy. And the reason I don't like that on custom jet is because the times that matters the most is maximum range, like really far away. And really far away, a main or two of main power is not going to make those bullets tight enough to hit when they're inaccurate. So at max range where it matters, when that coin flip is tails, you're missing anyway. It matters more at like closer ranges, where you're just trying to play like a pro. And I can see that working for a player like Soren, who is used to shooters, who has really good aim, and can use shooters well. He wants to be able to basically use the custom jet like a shooter when he needs to. Maybe, throw a burst bomb and finish some stuff off and just use the gun mostly. I see that actually being a smart choice for Soren, because it increases the range where he can actually be effective while holding the trigger with the gun. Overall, I don't think it's the best, but I could see how like Soren flexing to this is a good idea. No, most weapons work the same way that custom jet does. NZAP is just weird. NZAP's like a weird exception. Like if you go into go into training mode and you just hold down the trigger with zap without main power, it'll be like basically accurate, and then it'll start to kind of flail all over the place. The flailing all over the place gets delayed by like, I don't know, like 4 to 8 bullets if you're using like a main or two. which doesn't sound like a lot, but it does make a difference when you're standing up, walking back and forth, and shooting with NZAP. Get some kind of a DM. This is some Academy-related stuff, so I will talk to this person later. I am streaming right now, so ask me again later, because I will not go back and find that ping otherwise. All right, cool. Well, let's get back to the match, because this is what we're all here for. The NA versus EU match is the one to care about. I believe Splattershot works like CJS, and I believe 52 works like CJS. I could be wrong. Well, it's like jumping accuracy, so it's weird, because it like scales differently and stuff. Like, you only need a few subs to see a difference on Splattershot, and Urza loves his main power, so. See, all right, so let's actually care about the match. So let's. Let's watch the opening.
Well, I want everybody to keep an eye on two players in particular, 2D from North America and Gray from Alliance Road.
All right, so right now we have the standard, throw bombs. You really want top mid control. Kiver gets his first in position. He has armor to back him up. Okay, so what's going on right now? We have an armor go off. We have an armor almost ready from NA. So if Toon can just survive and paint just a little bit, he'll have that counter armor. On the flip side, we have a lot of pressure from EU at top mid. They're being slowed down a little bit by these bombs, but they should be able to get a good opening here. Let's see. All right, we're almost at 100%. Is the armor going to be too little too late? No, it's not. Armor's definitely going to help Shaq survive there. And he's going to move up. And all right, so that was a good counter armor from NA. They slowed down EU's top control. When the armor showed up, they obviously communicated really well. The armor saved Shaq's life. There was team fire as well to help Shaq. They were able to take top mid and get a dominant start, because now we have 3 specials at the ready from NA. We have 1 from EU, though it is the Ray, so that's gonna be obviously very helpful. And we're gonna have another armor again soon, but this is definitely an opportunity to push. I will say, once that armor's ready, the splashdown doesn't matter as much. So they'll be sort of even, but NA's just gonna have map control and start pushing, be able to jump on tower and stuff. Unless Urza just does godlike things here, he gets a trade. So that does get rid of the special out of EU. So we're kind of in a situation where we're even on specials, but I think NA will get the armor off their zap sooner. There's so much, yeah. There's a lot of this game is really well made. I'll stop just so that we don't miss anything important. But this I really like this game because if I ever get to talk to Nogami, I want to just like express my appreciation of him as a game designer, because this game does such a good job at being very approachable and easy to play, while at the same time offering so much interesting strategy and resilience of boredom when you get good at the game compared to most other shooters. Because I think that making a game that appeals to everyone but is interesting to play seriously and master for a long time is one of the hardest things about making a video game. It's easy to make one or the other. It's easy to make something that just, makes a quick buck and catches on, that has some kind of appeal that makes some money. And it's really easy to make something that's strategically interesting. It's very hard to do both. It's very hard to draw everybody in and keep them there for a long time, because those things compete with each other. So if you're able to do something like this, where you can make a game that draws in a lot of people and remains, interesting and has competitive merit for a long time, like, that is a big accomplishment. And I if I was ever to meet Nogami, like, I would tell him that. I would also, all right, so if there's a positive and a negative to tell him, I would tell him that, like, deep appreciation. Like, I don't know if he gets told that enough. I don't know if people, I don't know what kind of feedback he gets, but that is what I would tell him. And then the negative I would tell him is that I think that I want this game to be popular in the West. And there are some things that I've talked about many times in the past where the way this game's presentation, like the support around the game is presented, kind of turns off Western Western players. So, for example, typically gaming culture in the West revolves around friend groups that go from game to game, kind of on a regular basis, and they include games that they like in this cycle. Splatoon doesn't let you play with friends until you've grinded the game a lot. It doesn't put emphasis on like League and team matchmaking. It doesn't have like the monthly leaderboards. It doesn't have any rewards for playing League or anything like that. And I think that if Splatoon 3 was to make that adjustment, that it would be much more popular in the West. If you were able to just play with friends right away, if League mode was put up on a pedestal, and maybe you got like snails and chunks and stuff from completing from League placements and stuff like that, or at the end of the month, or just something to make the team aspect of the game more embraced. Those are the two things I would tell him. But yeah, let's go back onto the game. So we had this strong start from NA, a little bit slowed down by some good plays from Urza, and just special management, but now we are in a armored Ray versus not armored Ray situation, most likely coming up. So there is a Ray going down, I think, right now from Gray, or from... Is it Gray? Oh no, the Brella user. So this is going to slow things down a little bit, but if NA is able to get out of this strong, which it seems like they are, and alright, so EU uses the Ray early. There's no armor out of NA, but I don't think any of the special usage went well for EU. So this is kind of starting to spiral a little bit out of control. Now EU is going to have specials to back this up, which might turn it into a situation where both teams are just kind of using one special at a time that's really just stopping progress. But no, NA is... and then Kiver does this. So NA had a lot of potential to come out of that really strong. The two player... Are you talking about like twins and stuff? Oh, you're talking about like the local split screen. Oh no, I'm talking about like friend groups online. So it's like, oh, me and all my buddies, we all have Xbox or PlayStation, or we have like PC or something, and every day we just kind of get on, we hop into party chat and we chill, and we go and play some games together. And the way that more games get added to the group is one person's like, hey, I think this game's cool, we should play it, and he convinces everybody to buy it, and then they just add that game to their rotation of games that they play, and if the game entertains the group, then people will be willing to play it more often, and then that game sees play. And Splatoon just doesn't fit into that formula. And I think that Splatoon being able to fit more into that formula would allow much more people to do that, because a lot of people have Nintendo Switches now because of Smash, right? So there are big friend groups that have access to Nintendo Switch in some capacity. All you got to do is make Splatoon 3 be the kind of game where everybody can say, hey, let's hop on and play Splatoon. All right, cool, and they do it with no caveats. And Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2 have a fuckload of caveats. I mean, you have to grind Splatoon 2 for like a week if you're brand new to the game before you can actually play with your friends. It's not fun at all to play the game. It's like, oh man, I have to do nothing but grind and focus on the, like, when you're playing a brand new game and it's like, oh, I have to like cheese the system and I have to grind for this thing for like a week before I can actually play the game and enjoy it with my friends. It's like really frustrating whenever you lose. It's just not fun because you know that like you're just being delayed more before you can play with your friends. Like, it's terrible. It's absolutely fucking terrible. And then once you actually do get to a point where you can play League with your friends, League is such a set aside, not cared about mode by Nintendo, with no real support, no like X-ranked style leaderboards, no rewards for playing or anything like that. That like it's a barren wasteland. So you won't find matches. When you do, you'll get stopped by people that are better than you, and it's not fucking fun. So that's the thing. I don't want to go too much about that though, because let's watch more about this game. So we're back to this like actual back and forth. Like NA has been able to push more, but that double kill out of Kiv right there completely changed everything. So that was a lot of back and forth specials with slightly better positioning and timing from NA. But then Kiver just gets a double kill, and this is like a battle of inches. You know, like there's very small advantages that are causing one team or the other to actually get an advantage in this situation, to the point where one double kill out of Kiver is like the biggest thing that we've seen so far. That's also compounded by the way that tower control works, because you need to dominate for longer periods of time to get smaller points in tower control. And yet, again, Simpson, the party shooters like Halo and Call of Duty, and yeah, that lobby structure needs to happen. But we see like just Kiver doing one little thing makes all this big difference, and that's because you have to dominate for long periods of time in tower control to actually get points. That's why I like tower control the best out of all of the modes. I think that Splatoon 1 had stealth jump chains, and Splatoon 2 has stingrays that kind of mask how good the mode is and kind of give it some problems. But that all said and done, the fact that you can't just make one play and win the game off of it, you have to actually keep winning and keep winning and keep winning and keep winning. That's why I really like tower control. So the fact that these two teams are barely going back and forth and slowly winning position means that there's no big swing. And the biggest thing that mattered so far is Kiver got that double. So we'll see what happens here. Mind you, I only know the final score. I do not know. I do not know game by game. Like, I could sort of remember a little bit, maybe. Right, Ice is... Oh, wow, nice teamwork. Shaq comes out of nowhere and helps there. That's a big crowd pleaser moment, isn't it? So it's a 4v3. Ice is moving up. He sees... All right, he has to have backup on the way on purpose. And he tries to... All right, so he definitely knows that Shaq is coming. Because let's see what happens. So he sees the... He already saw the Brella at this point. He saw the Brella. So he runs up to the Brella and just rushes him, just jumps in at him. And then he... Let's get a color that works. We'll go with red. So he sees the Brella pushing up this way. Right? Then, with that in mind, he charges up to the Brella and goes here. Therefore causing the Brella to move, to face this way and move that way. Then he jukes in this direction, leaving the Brella here and him here. So now the Brella's here and Ice is here near an escape route while Shaq comes in over here, and now you have two people on opposite sides of the Brella. Like that's cool. That's cool. That's big thumbs up from me. Did that armor even go off for his teammates? It did. Okay, so missiles are coming in to counter the ray. We have two members of EU over here. Shaq is kind of sharking them. Ice and Toon aren't really in position, and I think that Keo just got taken out at some point off tower. Where did Keo die? Where'd that happen? Keo's alive. Keo's alive. Keo's dead. Where's Keo dead at? I have no fucking clue. I'm gonna assume Keo is like up at their base or some shit. No, Keo is up. Okay, Keo's up all the way at the top. I saw it. I'll show you guys in a second. Yeah, Keo's up in EU's base, like where Kiver's standing now. So like in this screenshot, Keo was like over here somewhere, and he got taken out by Urza and Kiver. Kiver's right here. Urza's right here. So that's what happened there. Hey, what's going on, Salmon King? How you doing, man?
And you know that's the thing that we haven't talked about yet. One of the reasons why the Tenta missiles have become so strong, everyone for the longest time was focused on Steam.
All right, so where is this? Where is this push going? So, two more members of EU get taken out. How'd that happen? It happens right here. Is it a Ray? It might be a Ray. The Ray, I think it's Kiver. No, the Ray gets the splatter shot. And then Ice shows up and helps Shaq. Okay, and this is really bad for EU. They have 25 points on the Ray. They have 17 points on their armor. Two people from NA are about to get specials, they're kind of the least impactful, but the missiles are definitely going to be useful. So yeah, NA is definitely going to have specials to work with ahead of time. Alright, so the missiles go off right away, so we're just keeping momentum. These missiles are going to stop anyone from being able to like throw bombs or do anything with the second checkpoint. And now we might see some of the stuff we were talking about come into play. So we have fizzy bombs, we have double suction and burst bomb, and we have bomb range on the end zap. So alright, so the end zap is on the tower. Let's back it up a few frames. So we have the end zap on the tower. Let's make this bigger. Alright, so we have the bomb range zap on the tower. We have burst bombs over here. We have a regular suction bomb right here. And we have fizzy with, I think, one main of sub power and no LDE yet. Over here. No, it was just LDE. So we have, so these two guys have, basically no one has an ink efficiency, but everyone has the ability to chuck bombs. So let's just see if any of that comes into play. Let's look at, alright, so we have the ray going off. We haven't really been able to see if there's any bombs being thrown from the camera angle. Alright, so suction bomb going on over here. I think that's armor. Burst bomb, Soren's getting a lot of pressure on him. Missiles. So the bombs were not that important. But the bombs weren't that important, but they definitely were used. I think though that at that point the game was just what it was. EU basically had to go all in to stop it, and a bunch of specials went off.